Hi, I want to talk to you today about Easter Saturday. The church rightly talks a great deal about what happened on Good Friday. That was the axis of history when God broke into our world and sent his son to die on a cross, a cruel Roman cross. And as his blood was shed, there was forgiveness for sin for all mankind. Rightly, the church talks about that. And also, quite correctly and appropriately, our greatest day in the church year is Easter Sunday, because that's the day that Jesus was free from the shackles of death and is alive forevermore. And man, if we don't talk about Easter Sunday, what else is there to talk about? That's the best news you could ever possibly hear. Death is not the end. However, there's a fascinating day between those 2 days called Easter Saturday. And let me just help you a little bit just to think through the importance of Easter Saturday, because in a way it's a metaphor for our lives. I want to illustrate it with a fascinating story from Luke chapter 24. And in Luke 24, Luke records two disciples walking about 7 miles back to a town called Emmaus, probably a big village away, not too far from Jerusalem. And they're very, very depressed indeed. All their hopes have been dashed. They've lost their best friend. They've lost the person who utterly changed their lives. They left their fishing jobs for this. They left their tax collecting jobs for this man. And they were on the road with him for 3-4 years. And they got joy back in their lives. They got hope back in their lives. They saw liberation from the Roman occupation. They were really living in a gloriously exciting way. And then cruelly, Jesus is crucified. They're walking back to this village, Emmaus, and they think, it's all over. It's all over. All our hopes finished, dashed. We are deeply, deeply disillusioned. And this Easter Saturday story is wonderful for this because it teaches us about ourselves. It tells us, are you like that? Sunday hasn't come. You don't know Cleopas, that's his name, the guy walking back to Emmaus. Cleopas, you don't know that Jesus is alive forevermore. And so you're thinking, this is it, it's all over. Maybe you're thinking in your circumstances, you've met a brick wall. You cannot see a way round this particular obstacle. And you would be very wrong to think that this is the way it's going to be for the rest of your life. Cleopas and his friend who were walking back to their old lives thinking, well, we're going home, but what's there to go home for? It's all over. You might be thinking that very same thing. And now what happens is a beautiful thing, a mysterious thing happens. A stranger starts walking alongside them. And they don't realize it's Jesus in his resurrected body. And he says to them, what are you talking about? Why are you looking so downcast? And they say, are you the only one who's not heard about what happened in Jerusalem? And they talk about Jesus and his death. And then Jesus, still hidden from being recognized, starts to give them a Bible study, effectively. He says to them, you foolish disciples. He's quite strong and direct and unsentimental with them. And it's quite offensive. He says, you're so slow to believe the scriptures. Didn't you realize that the Messiah had to suffer and die, but on the third day he would be raised from the dead? And while he's talking to them, hope starts to come into their hearts. And there's that lovely line in Luke 24 where they say, didn't our hearts burn within us on that road while that mysterious stranger was talking to us? And again, that's a metaphor for us because Jesus wants to come alongside us in our despair when it's Easter Saturday of our lives. We've heard about the disasters that have happened on Good Friday. We don't know that resurrection is coming, and Jesus starts walking alongside us. And so if that's you in 2024 Easter time, we have the most wonderful message to say to you that Jesus will come alongside and lift you out of your despairing story and take you up on a mountainside and show you that your little life is part of a huge redemptive story of history. That actually your life is full of meaning, even though it's Easter Saturday, and that you're betwixt death and life, your life is wrapped up in a great story of redemption, and that Jesus intends for you to know resurrection power. So whatever obstacle you're facing in 2024, you need him to open the scriptures to you and explain to you, this had to happen. I had to suffer. Before I had to be the sacrifice for your sins, because the Father has sent me as the Son who loves and who has given his life for you. But now I am alive forevermore. And so the end of this road to Emmaus, Luke 24, is they invite this mysterious stranger into their homes. Stay with us, they say. Our hearts are burning. We've got hope back. And Jesus, still hidden from being recognized, breaks bread in their home, and they instantly recognize who it is, and he vanishes from their sight. And they rush back and tell their friends, we've seen it's the Lord. And so in conclusion, let me say this: whatever you are facing now, there is always Easter Sunday coming. You may have to weep for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Easter's coming. Sunday is coming. And this is not the end of things for you or me, even though you may be in the most difficult of circumstances. So in a weird way, Easter Saturday describes our human condition perhaps better than any of the other special passion days in the week. When you think about, the Ash Wednesday, Maundy Thursday, Good Friday. No, Easter Saturday is very human, very tender, and God is very close to people who are walking through those days and times. So God bless you. Be mightily encouraged. This is not the end of any of our stories by any means. Resurrection power will break through into your life.